What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. I got some DC love today. I know we talk so much about Marvel, because Marvel's always doing big things, but we gotta show love to DC as well. I'm a fan of both. So today I'm talking about the Hot 10. That's right, not the top 10, the Hot 10 Green Lantern keys to invest in before the HBO Max show arrives. There's already been some announcements for this show. There's already some heat on some of these comic books. So we are going to get into these books, and this is how we're going to break it down today. As always, we are going to count down by looking at current fair market value and look at fair market value for 5 years ago, and those that have increased in value the most are going to be lower on the list. So the lower we go, the hotter these books are going to get. Before we get into the books, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. Check out all the awesome links below. And of course, I have to remind you all, if you are in need of comic book supplies, check out the link below in the description, bcwsupplies.com. You can use the code JOURNOS and get 10% off of your order. Doesn't matter how big or small the order is, and you can use this code over and over and over again. It never expires. So check out that link. Go save yourself some money. All right, everyone. Are we ready to get into these books? Let's go. First book on the list. Now, you all know that I like to mix in what I call kind of sleeper keys or next best things because all of us aren't made of big money. This is Justice League 110. It's the second appearance of John Stewart. First appearance of John Stewart, we know, was big money. This one flies heavily under the radar. Let's look at these numbers. As you can see here, there was nothing almost on the market that I could find for graded books. Now, there was one copy of a 9.6 from 5 years ago that sold for $109, all right? A high raw recently sold for $23. Now, keep in mind, high raw doesn't mean high grade. It means the highest value. We don't know what the grade of the book is. Now, John Stewart hasn't been confirmed for the Green Lantern HBO Max show. We don't know if John Stewart's going to appear in any type of DCEU project or film, but you never know. And again, this is a book that's extremely affordable. That's, like I said, a sleeper right now. Nobody's looking at it. Let's move on to number 9. Earth 2, number 1. This is another one that I think is being slept on. And there's something important about this book that relates to the HBO Max show. Before I get into that, let's look at the data. First off, this is the first appearance of the Earth 2 Alan Scott. Current CGC 9.8s. There is none. From 5 years ago, there is none. All right? People are sleeping on it. High raw, $20. Very affordable book. So here's the thing. What has been confirmed for the HBO Max show is Alan Scott, and it has been confirmed that this will be the Earth 2 version of Alan Scott. So you put the two to two together, that makes this book, correlate. Obviously, what you see here as well is the second print with that red cover. I do believe the first print has a blue background cover. I just couldn't find any high-res images of that book, if you can believe that, and I didn't want to show some low-res garbage. I wanted you guys to get a full scope of the book. So again, another one that you most likely can afford for a really decent value. And I think once the word that this is the Alan Scott that's going to be in the show, this book could definitely pick up some steam. Let's move on to number 8. Free Comic Book Day, New 52, number 1, the first appearance of Simon Baz. This book has been definitely picking up some steam. Another Green Lantern that has been confirmed for the Green Lantern HBO Max show. Let's look at the numbers. Current CGC 9.8 fair market value, $275. That's solid. That is solid money for a 9.8 for a Free Comic Book Day book as well. 5 years ago, couldn't find no sales back then. A high raw did sell for $25. So again, decently affordable. This is a character that I personally have grown to enjoy and respect, and I can't wait to see him and live action to see what they do with him on screen. Moving on to number 7, folks. Green Lantern number 1. This is obviously a big Silver Age, early Silver Age, 10-cent Silver Age book. This is the first appearance of the Green Lantern Corps headquarters and the first mention of the Green Lantern Corps. Now, that is big because it pertains to the HBO Max show as well. But like I said, it's already a Silver Age key book. Let's look at these numbers, though. Current CGC 8.0 fair market value, $3,600. 5 years ago, $3,150. That's only a 14% increase in value. But hey, it's still an increase, right? Now, this is a funny thing right here. High Raw, High Raw recently sold back in, I believe, March for $2,995. That is questionable because the previous high was in February and it was for $584. So I don't know. I would take that $2,995 sale with a grain of salt. I don't know if it was an error. I don't know if maybe it was signed. I can't tell you, but it seems pretty high for a raw copy, unless it was an immaculate, near mint looking raw copy of this book. So again, one thing that I like about this book is I think it goes to show you, we talk about Marvel all the time and what the MCU has done for the spec values in the spec market on Marvel Comics, right? But this goes to show you that, in my humble opinion, Silver Age keys, including DC, are those long-term investments no matter what. We don't need spec value coming in and doing anything, so you get the slow long-term increase. So they're still very substantial investments. But we'll see if the Green Lantern Corps, which, assumingly they will, obviously show up in the HBO Max show. Let's see if that brings people and pulls them into looking out for this book. Moving on to number 6. This is Green Lantern number 48. This is the first appearance of Kyle Raynor. Now, Kyle Raynor has not been confirmed yet for the HBO Max show, but I'm hoping for it. I'm pushing for it. Let's look at these numbers. Current CGC 9.8 fair market value, $81. Very, very affordable still. 5 years ago, $67. 21% increase in value. Hey, it's something, right? High Raw, $33. So this book it's got a little bit of a price tag on it these days. We'll see what happens with Kyle Raynor, though. All right, everyone, we are halfway through the list. Coming in at number 5. Green Lantern, number 7. Another big early Silver Age book. First appearance and origin of Sinistro. Now, again, Sinistro not confirmed for the TV show. We saw Sinistro in the 2011 bummer disappointment of a movie, Green Lantern. I personally don't think it was horrible, but hey, I'll leave that for another conversation. Let's look at these numbers. Current CGC 8.5, fair market value $2,200. 5 years ago, $1,315. That is a 5-year increase of 67%. That's solid stuff. These Silver Age keys, I'm telling you. High Raw, $577. And again, reminding you all, keep in mind, that doesn't mean high grade. It's just the highest dollar amount. So will we see Sinistro in the HBO Max TV show? I have no idea. But this is still a solid book. Moving on to number 4. Yes. Now let's talk about this one. Green Lantern 51, Volume 3, by the way, folks. First full appearance of Kyle Raynor as Green Lantern and his first cover appearance, written by Ron Mars, who I want to remind everyone that we will be having him as a guest on the Comic Book Canon show this Friday. So come check us out. All right, and if you're watching this after Friday, after it's aired, go to the Comic Book Canon YouTube, give us a subscribe, and check out that interview. All right, looking at these numbers, current CGC 9.8 fair market value, $107. Okay. 5 years ago, $54. 98% increase in value. Solid. It's almost doubled in value. High Raw, $21. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Who said 90s books aren't worth money? All right, moving on to number 3. This is probably one of my favorites on the list. Justice League number 50, first appearance of Jessica Cruz as Green Lantern. Now, I love Jessica Cruz as a character. I loved her kind of origin story of how, in this run, of how she got the Green Lantern ring. Let's look at these numbers. Current CGC 9.8, fair market value $125. 5 years ago, $50. That's a 150% increase in sales. High Rock going for $24. So come on, man. This book is doing something. Like I said, personal opinion, I enjoyed this Justice League run. I enjoyed a good amount of the new 52 stuff, believe it or not. Some of it was some of it I enjoyed though. It was a good read. It's just my opinion. All right, everyone. Coming in at number 2 is Jessica Cruz again. Justice League number 31. This is the first full appearance of Jessica Cruz. Now remember, 50 is her first appearance as Green Lantern. This is her first full appearance of of her, excuse me. And remember, issue number 20 had her hand, I believe. So it's technically a cameo. All right, let's look at what the numbers are doing for this book. Current CGC 9.8 fair market value, $285. That is absolutely solid. 5 years ago, $100. That's a 185% increase in value. A high Russell for 85. This book is moving, folks. I remember picking up this book in the dollar bins. No lie, in the dollar bins. Probably a decently high grade, but probably not near mint either. So just look, Jessica Cruz. Jessica Cruz, who, again, another one who has been confirmed for the HBO Max show. All right, everyone. We have one more book on this list, and it's a good one because it's a key book, of course, and this character has also been confirmed for the HBO Max show. And that is Green Lantern number 59, the first appearance of that guy named Guy Gardner. That's right, another Silver Age key comic book. Let's look at these numbers. Current CGC 8.0 fair market value, $860. 5 years ago, $220. Folks, that is an increase of 291%. Wow. This book's been hot. Who says only Marvel books get hot? High Raw sold for $538. So I have a feeling that this book, over the last couple of months, I believe it's been since we got the announcement of the casting for Guy Gardner, I do think that has impacted the numbers and the sale numbers on this book. So again, look, I talk about it a lot. Jeff, my co-host Jeff on Combo Book Canon, we talk about it a lot when we discuss news and DC news. We want DC to succeed, but we know that DC, when it comes to Warner Brothers and the DCEU, has been a bit of a hot mess. You know, and their lack of consistency and lack of groundwork and having that vision that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios has done is kind of affected how the speculation market affects the value of the comic books. And again, it's not comic book collecting, and even comic book speculating is not always about, oh, what's going on in the movies and in the TV shows. It's not. But we know in this day and age that it's a big factor. And I'm very hopeful for the future of DC and a lot of their projects. I'm still not keeping my hopes high. I'm just going to let it come, and I'm going to take it all with a grain of salt. And then, hey, if it surprises me, good. But I am hopeful for this HBO Max show. I want it to be a good show. I'm excited for it. I really hope that Warner Brothers and HBO do something right with this show. And these characters, they freaking deserve it, man. They deserve it. I love Green Lantern and the cosmic element of the Green Lanterns and the Green Lantern Corps. So I want to keep my fingers crossed and hope for success when it comes to DC. And I want to see the DC market keep boosting as well, the comic book market, that is. So those are my picks for you all today. Before we go, I'm going to give a shout out, as always, to all of my wonderful supporters and members of the channel. But for all those supporting me by watching, thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Let me know what you thought of the books. Let me know if you have any on the list and if you thought there were any that should have been on the list that weren't. And again, if you aren't subscribed, please take some time to do so. But before we go, big thank you to all of my Patreon members. If anyone is interested in becoming a Patreon member of the channel, it's only $3.99 a month. You get all kind of extra perks. That link is below. I'm going to give a shout out to each and every one of you. Ranger Class, Kenwick, Jordan, Jonathan, X11 Bravo, Shelby, Asher, Timothy, Kenneth, Rich, Tony, Marty, Larry, Serge, Michelle, Tyler, Keith, Jeremy, Michael, Jeff, Tricky Clicky, Alvin, Fletch, Pedro, Peter, Joe G, Larissa, Sagi, Dan, Bishner, and Simon. Thank you all so much for your continued support. And of course, all my YouTube members, if you all are interested in becoming a YouTube member, that's only $1.99 a month, and you get extra perks joining that way as well. Oh man, there's more and more of you adding up here, but I'm gonna let it go. Here we go. Simon, Shadow Rat, Ranger Class, Comic Toby, Nikita, Adam, That Mountain Air, Comic Ozzy, Joshua, Kaya B, Ghost Jump, Battle Panda, Reapers, Comic Den, 90s Comics, Kevin Davey, Locksmith Comics, Primetime Treasure Hunter, Rupert P, Michael, Jimmy, Goonish Lurker, Josh Z, Louis Logics, Arthur, Luis, Peter, Blackout Comics, B Moy, Tony T, and Chris O. Thank you all so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. And again, leave your thoughts below. Much love to my DC Green Lantern characters and to my DC fans out there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be well, and until next time.